What's going on? I'm Colin Schweigert and I'm a naval architect here at Mastercraft Boat Company, and I'm part of the team that designs the hulls and focuses on the performance, including the Gen 2 Surf System and the wakes behind your boat. And today we're at the factory. We're going to go over how to tweak your wave with the Gen 2 Surf System. So we'll break out the Gen 2 Surf System into four main components. So there's cruise control, which allow you to change the speed of the boat down to the 1/10 of a mile an hour. There's the ballast we use that allow you to increase the amplitude of the surf and wakeboard waves. And then also the hull design, which optimize the wave behind the boat. And finally, the wake shaping devices, which allow you to produce the waves, specifically the surf waves, and allow you to make adjustments and tweak and create the different profiles that we use. So when we're developing a boat, we use our factory athletes to help create these profiles. So we'll fill up the boat with gas, bring out 4 people and distribute them evenly in the cockpit in the 4 main corners of that area. And we'll go through and start developing the profiles that we use, which on most of our boats are 4 profiles per side, which are kids, mellow, steep, and max push. So the 4 main factory profiles that are loaded into your boat are going to work for 95% of the conditions. Whether you have 2 people or 12 people, they're going to work almost in every scenario. There are some conditions where if you have a new rider or a rider who's looking for more push, you can tweak the waves a little to suit their needs or create a new profile for them. The Gen 2 Surf System works by deploying a wake shaping device on the opposite side of the hull as a surfer. Generally, you will deploy more tab to create a more mellow wave and retract tabs to bring it up toward the swim platform to create a steeper wave. When driving, you'll also get feedback from a rider, for example, a very advanced rider who wants a steeper wave or wants to tweak the wave even further from just a steep profile. So a good example of this is if they're trying airs or trying new tricks, they might want you to steepen up the wave beyond that. Good point to start again is just take out 5% increment, retract that tab up, make the wave a little bit steeper, do that in 5% increments, and if they continue to want the wave steeper, you can bring it up another 5 until they're liking. So an example of when you'd want to mellow out your wave could be when you have a very small rider and they might even be on a bigger board and they're getting more push than they need. You can really mellow out that wave to create kind of like a bunny hill, to where you can add 5% deployment, drive that tab down in the water and create more of a mellow wave. You can add 5% beyond that to continue to flatten out the wave and create a longer, more mellow wave for that rider to just really feel out the board and get comfortable with the wave. So when you're on the water, you can experience varying conditions. 2 of these are river currents and shallow water. Starting with river currents, if you are running in a river that has, for example, 1/2 mile an hour of current and you're running upstream, the surfer will experience slightly faster water speed. So you can offset this by changing your cruise control down 1/2 mile an hour, and when you're going downstream, you can increase the cruise control 1/2 mile an hour so that the surfer gets a consistent speed. So when you're in shallow water, specifically depths of about 10 feet or even less, you'll start to see the wave flatten out and kind of mellow out and lose some amplitude. So in this scenario, you can either choose a steeper profile or take some tab out of that by retracting 5% for starters and looking back to see if the wave is amplifying, taking out another 5 if you need to amplify or steepen the wave further. As I mentioned, when we're creating the factory profiles in the boats, we have 4 people in the cockpit. Obviously, you could have fewer people or more people out in your boat. You need to remember that people do act like ballast, and generally after you add 8 people to the cockpit, your boat will start to increase in bow rise. You can either start to add people to the bow or tune your wave as the boat starts to pitch upwards. So if you have, for example, 10 people in the cockpit and no in the bow, your factory profiles will all tend to steepen up. You can counter that again by adding surf tab, deploying 5% down and driving the tab downward to make a more mellow wave, or you can have some of those people move to the bow to lower that bow rise down. So if you have less people in your boat, you'll generally have a more mellow wave than if you were to have multiple people in your boat. So for example, if you're running a mellow wave and you have 10 people in the cockpit, and then the next day you go out and you're ready to run the same profile as a mellow wave, and you only have 2 people in the boat, that same wave is going to be a bit more mellow than it was the prior day. In that scenario, you can retract tab or go to a steeper profile. So you can take 5% out, 10% out, and try to steepen that wave up back to your liking. All right guys, thanks for listening. Before I head back up to the shop, I'm gonna go take a set out in the water. Thanks again. If you have any questions, be sure to DM us on any other social channels or get with your dealer. And thanks for being a part of the Mastercraft family.